Good morning. It's a pink scope. It's a branded scope this morning. Hey guys, I told y'all throughout the spring, we would try and no, yeah, try. Okay, there's no ing on that. We would evolve. I told you we would evolve. So let me just make sure that we are everywhere. Pop, there it goes on Periscope. I'm gonna go ahead and open that up so I can check and see if the comments, I'm trying to see if the comments are delayed as you come in. Understand, these are my first thoughts of the morning. These are one eye open, frog in the throat, trying to sit up in the bed, wrestling with the covers, grabbing the journal and the calendar because we need to know what day it is. Like, I think it's Thursday. We're going to turn to a blank page in our journal. And as you can see, I'm turning a couple pages here. There we go. You don't see it, but you hear it. A couple of pages here, turn to a blank page. Hopefully, we're able to get started. Well, we're started. Hopefully, everything keeps up with us. Let me see here. I'm gonna do a test comment. I see a heart. Oh, good. Okay, let's see. I just want to make sure we've got some sight and sound. So let me just type good morning on there. And yes, okay, comments are coming in real time. I can see the comments coming in real time. Rotten picks, welcome in. I hope you're not about to make this a rotten pick. So again, guys, my name is Yolanda. If you swipe to the profile, on the platform that you're on, because we're multi-streaming this morning. I'm trying to get used to it. So we're actually coming across to you guys not only on Periscope, where we have been for the last months or so. We're also now to today, as of yesterday, on coming live as well as on a Facebook page that I have set up for this, as well as our DryerBuzz page, as well as YouTube. Because one of the things that I would often have to do, depending on the content that we were putting out, is I have to spend the next couple of hours or today's after that content repurposing it and putting it in different places. So we wanted to try the multi-streaming. I have not been yet a fan of multi-streaming, only because it required multi-devices. And lo and behold, finally in the mobile realm, while this has been around in the desktop and laptop and realm, and sedentary realm, I guess I should say, it's now lending itself to mobile, and it's been there on and off, right, but not necessarily consistency. There was a number of changes, and so we waited and let those things happen until like listen, and we demanded this is the environment we needed in, because I am a live blogger. Majority of the content that I do is off the cuff and live in real time, and I'm mobile with it. So, and having been a blogger for 17 years, I've seen the evolution of everything, every platform I've been out there, and I'm so excited. So shout out to Restream, which is what I'm using, Restream.io, as well as Switcher. And you guys know I've loved Switcher, but I wasn't able to really use it for how to get out of bed. Under there now, under the bed. No, just kidding. So I wasn't able to use it in that capacity. We just basically ran the Periscope with this, but now to be able to come on and talk to you guys, I'm gonna watch, because it seems like a little bit of the engagement on Periscope is a little bit slightly different. But I was trying to gauge it through the cooking show yesterday, just to see how we're doing, because I don't want to lose our organic following that we have on Periscope. So I want to know if this causes you guys, I don't know. I don't know, because I'm gonna just gauge it, because I don't think I would do any extra like sharing or anything like that, because it was an intimate conversation, because we talked about how to get out of bed, and so we're gonna try it a couple times on the multi-stream and see how that works. But it was kind of and I don't want to say safe space kind of conversation, although it was. I mean, I feel safe everywhere online, because I've only granted permission to those who respect the space, right? So I feel safe sharing anywhere, but I want to make sure that those that listen feel the same. And I think you guys too also appreciate the fact that you could have an alternative platform, because there are those of you that had to leap over to this platform from other platforms to kind of enjoy this. So again, like I said, these are journal moments, is moments where we realize we've been given another day. We try to find a grateful moment. We try to find a moment where we're going to be of service. We just try to find, I call it the daily podcast of living daily. And I just came up with that this morning because coming to each and all these different platforms, I had to be mindful of how the title transferred itself around the web, right? So I had to be mindful of the title. And on one of those platforms, I had to give a description, and so I thought about it. I'm like, okay, it's a daily podcast because we do it. This is the only thing that I do consistently 7 days a week. I'm like, if I wake up, I will take a few minutes to just kind of come on and say, hey, listen, this is what I'm waking up with. This is what I'm waking up to. This is how I'm getting out of bed. This is how I can't get out of bed. Whether it's anxiety, depression, we know that anxiety, we are trying to live too far into the future. We know that depression is we are living too far in the past. We try to live like right now. What is it? Just if we were to take this day, and for those that can't even take the full day, because hey, maybe at lunchtime, maybe in the afternoon, maybe early morning. Emu Boy, yeah, definitely getting some new names in today. So I'm definitely gonna kind of watch this thing, see how it goes. At some point during the day, might be your anxiety, might heighten your anxiety level, get your adrenaline going. We want all that stuff to happen for the good reasons, and if you feel that something is going to get in your way, then you want to have a conversation and want to talk about it. And oftentimes I tell people, go back and check the replay, but mute me and just watch the comments because I don't always have the answers. And if you notice how to get out of bed, it could be a statement, it could be a question. So you will come in and find some answers. And we start with a blank page in our journal. We try to find an antidote for how we're going to get out of bed. I started writing these things down because once we found that we love being truthful, honest, and transparent, it's like, well, let's archive this. Not only will it be archived out here in this long form, I'm also working on compiling it in some form of a publication. Notice I said publication because I'm not real sure what that looks like. A couple things dancing around in my head, but as you know, I got a lot of irons in the fire, and I have to think about how I'm going to archive a lot of the stuff that I'm doing. Skeet Dixon. Yeah, I think we're getting trolled. Because I don't necessarily see my regulars. So, but again, I'm excited because I wanted to evolve by spring, and spring is here, and we're on a couple of larger platforms. So, all right. Like I said, on one of the platforms, I had to make a declaration. I'm gonna write down declarations, and why I'm gonna write down declarations because I have to reach over. If it sounds like my tonation changed, I'm gonna write down. I was gonna write down what I actually declare, but then I think I should just write down declarations. I'm writing down declarations because I think that we should spend a little bit more time declaring. And whenever I think about that, I think about those who went west, the what they call, not the final frontier, but the western frontier. Those who declared, enough of this, what's going on here. I gotta pick up and move. Whole towns used to just pick up and move. And then when they would pick up and move, and somebody else was moving that, because listen, the thing that you're moving from, there's always somebody moving to that. There used to be a television show that came on, and it was people that were moving, and they were moving on to something bigger and better, and somebody was moving into their space, and so they saw it was a cycle. And so somebody created this television show that they would watch these. It was three people. The first person would sell. The first person would move. It was three: 1 level, 2 level, 3 levels. So what they decided they would do: the two other people were known. The person moving into the first space was unknown, right? And so what they decided to do was just to kind of chronicle the process. And in that process, even though the people were one part of the group would be definitely moving on to something bigger and better, they always had these feelings about the person coming into their old space and how that person would change it up, right? That person would definitely do something a little bit better. And they would always feel bad because that person, they'd have to make the space great again in order to sell it to somebody else. And then that person would come in, and even if they thought the space was great, that person would come in and make changes to it. And they oftentimes couldn't handle that. They wanted the person to move into where they were and live as they lived. Whereas the person might, they came in and they would see something entirely different in it, right? And I think we go through that, but you have to declare it's time for me to move. We have to make that declaration. It's time to move. It's time to move on. And I think we have, all of us have a hard time doing it. And case in point, this multi-streaming. I have two very close online friends that moved into this space a while ago. They were okay moving in. They were okay rehabbing it when they got here. They were okay dealing with all the changes and all the adjustments. And I was like, I'll wait. I seriously was like, I'll wait. I don't have time for it. I have a certain productivity level of which I like to deal with. I'll wait, right? And every now and then they let me know what's going on in the quote unquote neighborhood or happening in the community. They added me to the community. They're like, you can be a part of the community anyway. Even though I really never had anything good to say about it. I'm like, I don't like that multi-streaming. I don't like being on all those different platforms. I just want to be on one at a time, you know. And I told them, I said, I have a learning curve when it comes to adjusting all this stuff, especially if it changes up what my normalcy is, what my productivity is, especially if it's going to require a lot of change. And it did. It required a lot of learn. I'm like, I don't have every day to come in and learn and adjust to something new every day. It's like, no, I'll wait till the neighborhood settles, right? And I did. Because I knew because what's one of the days that we had in talking about how to get out of bed was I knew my flaw. I knew my flaw. And you know what? I think my Periscope peeps are a little bit confused because we're using some branding as opposed to our pink audio scope. So let me see if I can. I don't think I can even adjust the Periscope. I'm gonna have to come back and just do an announcement for them because hey Kamala, my Periscope peeps are used to seeing the pink audio scope and they're not used to seeing the full on branding. But also let me say, if you are looking at your screen on this audio, is you see Real Life. We are brought to you by Real Life, a supporter. It's a production, a musical that's going to take place in Atlanta over the weekend. In fact, their opening day is possibly, tomorrow. So they're having the last day of their rehearsals today, and I'm pretty sure everybody is going through it. But I want to shout out to them, and you guys have seen me play different parts on that as well. And so I wanted to put them on the screen as for their support, because their support is one of the reasons that we are able to evolve, and that's Marietta's new theater in the square. All right, and I'm getting a battery warning. I could have sworn this thing was fully charged here, but not on the device that we're on. It's on another device that I'm listening, monitoring the conversation. Okay, so you have to make some declarations, and I had to make some declarations. It's like, look, it's time for me to go and move to this new neighborhood. It's time for me to go and move to this new community. Even though I'm talking this morning to absolutely entirely different people, I'm letting my old neighbors know, hey, listen, I got something new going on. You have to make that declaration, and a lot of times that will. If you heard what I talked about, it was new, it was different, it was forever changing. There were some of my needs were met, some of my needs were not met. I had to adjust. It took a lot of adjustment to go ahead and be okay with this, right? I had to declare. Look at that thing. It's got a title. Look at your screen. It's got a title. It's got a link. It's got my picture on it. It's got a sponsor. Okay. That's some serious declaration. That's just not your average pink scope, periscopers. That's just not your average pink scope. It's not just us. You know, took some convincing of others to say, hey, listen. So, and in order to do that, I had to declare. When I was going to broadcast this also on YouTube, I had to declare a description. What is this thing? Well, it's a daily podcast about living daily, about daily living and living daily. It's just daily. Not only that, it's daily. You mean you're going to do this every day? You're going to do this 7 days a week? I'm going to do this as needed, as time. Hey, Carolyn, I'm going to do this as time needed when I find out that I have been blessed with a new day. So that's a lot of declaring that I'm the one to do it, declaring that I have been through enough to talk, declaring that I can be the keeper of the community. All of those were declarations. Whether I came into them with full on confidence, willing or forced, whether I just kind of took on a little bit of the responsibility, all of the responsibility, we make declarations every day, all day long. My daughters, I got two daughters, very known for standoff. Oh my God. They can't, if I say let's do this, they can't move quick enough for me ever. And good morning. And it never changes. They can't move quick enough for me. And I'm like, oh my God. And I tell y'all, and it puts my nerves on edge to absolute no end. It puts my nerves on edge to no end because I wish each and every time that they could move as fast as I could. I'm telling you, because that's how I do. And then I might not move as fast as they do. But I'm telling you, it's all. Let me see if I can tweet from over here. What happens if I do that? I don't even know what's going on, y'all. I'm trying to learn these comments. So, but in all of what we do, we make declarations. Whether you have made a declaration or not, you made a declaration not to make a declaration. You are declaring everything. I was watching somebody shared a TED Talk. I was trying to watch it, but then I was like, I can't get through this one. I love that TED Talks are short, but that one I couldn't even get through it. But what she was going on to say at some point, she was going to get to the point, where she was talking about body language. And the narrative she was using to give us a lesson in body language, I kind of got bored with. So I didn't get, that's me. I didn't get all of it. But she was talking about communication. And you say something, you say stuff, whether you say something or not. Latoya Michelle, welcome in. So you say something, whether you say something or not, right? You're speaking every day, all day long. Whether you open your mouth and say anything, you are making declarations. You are declaring all day long, every second of the day. You are saying something, whether you're saying something or not. And people are making assumptions. And maybe if it's not even an assumption, if you're not saying it, they're probably assuming, right? Good morning. They're probably assuming, and I'm glad I do have Periscope open because this other thing is just not lending itself to come. Oh, there it is. Yes, it is. I'm make a lie out of me. Even though we all said good morning, I thought it was the same comment, so it's a different comment. So hopefully you guys will see the comments on other platforms as well. But so whether you speak out loudly, whether you speak confidently, however you are declaring, whenever you engage with others, you're letting your presence known. Whether you're letting your presence known, I can give these anecdotes all day long, right? Right? You are in the race, whether you're in the race or not. Whether you declare, you are declaring whether you declare or not. And so, why is it? And I'm not gonna say why is it not. It's better if you use your voice. It's better if you say it than allow it to be said. Okay, it's better that you, rather than allow the assumptions to happen, it's rather that you control the narrative. Just like Beyonce, I love when people say, "Man, Beyonce secretly dropped this, that, and the other overnight." I'm like, overnight? She just told you she been working on this for 2 years. That I'm like, but she controls it, y'all. She controls every part of it, right? It's like everybody was like, Beyonce just overnight dropped the song, like she just ran in there and did a whole album. You think she did a whole documentary? I want people to understand. Do you not see the intent? How intentional it was? Yes. I mean, what? Oh my God! I can't understand how it is that people can watch this. She was filming while she was at Coachella. She was filming before. She was process. Somebody, that means that the entire time that she was pregnant, she had to be having these meetings. She had to pull the team together. This is why you can't get accomplish what you're trying to accomplish, because you keep trying to do it overnight. You think this stuff just happens. That means in the process of incubating twins. Okay, and she said in the documentary, that wasn't even a planned pregnancy. As much as she'd been trying to get pregnant, I'm like, okay, I don't know about that one. And sometimes, Beyonce is a show must go on. She's a showgirl born into show business, right? She was born. Okay, the daughter got a little bit of talent. She was gonna usher them and her friends in the show business, and that's all we're gonna tolerate. You can tell that kind of lifestyle went on. So all of that, her everything has been the show must go on. And I wish it hadn't been, because she's a little too mechanical on the show business side for me. I worry about that a little bit, because she seems to be a little bit less emotional than I'd like for a woman to be, right? So let me see. They aren't paying attention. Her whole life is part of her brand. Whole life. Carol, I'm Caroline. Good morning, Gloria. I was hoping you'd come in. I hope you guys recognize we are using some branding and not the average pink scope that we've been doing. So I want people to go back. When you hear, now mind you, this is what she did. She declared this thing confidential, is what she declared, right? And everybody that worked with it had to declare it confidential. Because first thing she had to do was to go and get the licensing done, right? She had to invite the deal, not even the invite, the major deal to open Coachella. Okay, we're going to open Coachella in a year and a half. I got to incubate these babies, right? She said herself, she said she was supposed to do that a year prior. But she had to incubate those babies. Good morning, Glory. She had to incubate those babies. So she had to literally put Coachella off a year. So that bought her more time to plan the epicness of it. That she was able to declare, I'm going to make this a real history making moment. First of all, she had to go and license. If y'all didn't hear all that at Maya Angelou, you don't just recite Maya Angelou. You don't just perform Maya. You got to license that, okay? And all of this in the passing of Maya Angelou. So Dr. Maya Angelou, you got to go license. You got to pay somebody. There's a lot of checks being written, right? And you better know, ain't nobody sign no checks without an NDA. Like, you can't talk about this. I'm going to license the same way she did with Formation when she went and got the young lady's poetry. She licensed the young lady's poetry. The young lady over there living off a good check and they can't tell nobody. They're like, girl, you seem like you coming up. She can't tell nobody how she coming up. She can't tell nobody that Beyonce done bought all her poetry and about to make an album off of it. And it's going to be revolutionary, right? Same thing with this she done went to these HBCUs, done pulled these students together, right? And they done sign these in there. They can't tell nobody. Like, where you been? They've been at rehearsal with Beyonce all week. Okay, they getting on planes and traveling, going to fittings, all that, getting costume designs, She licensing music and instruments and all this kind of stuff. And the HBCUs, can't nobody say nothing for 2 years, y'all. And she incubating these babies, and she gonna have these. Not only that, while she playing at Coachella, this thing with the husband, okay, we don't go too far with this mess, right? I'm tired of having to write these songs about all this crazy ish going on with us. We gonna need to do a vow renewal. So I'm gonna incubate these babies, okay? I'm gonna have these babies. We're gonna have a wedding, and then I'm gonna go do Coachella, and we're gonna document every inch of it. And go get me a Netflix deal. And the question is, did she want a Netflix deal? Well, I think she stopped working with HBO because now she's all up in the protest mindset. Oh, I can't come back to HBO because y'all tripping over there. But yet at the same time, she went to Netflix. And don't think that this woman, as cognizant as she is trying to be about the struggle, don't think the Monique thing didn't have nothing to do with that, right? Don't think she ain't went behind Monique, because you ain't going to come up in here with all of this Dr. Maya Angelou up in there and this Netflix deal and discount the whole Monique thing. Everybody got a good damn deal after Monique blasted there. Let me tell you, the whistleblower always walking away with nothing. y'all better be mindful and respectful of the whistleblower. Okay, because when Monique blew the whistle on them, and then everybody else doesn't, yeah, they had a horrible deal for me. They had a horrible deal for me. They had a horrible deal for me. Netflix went out and created a whole brand called Strong Black Leads. And it's like, okay, we're gonna change up this narrative. Give everybody a good deal, a good damn deal. Go and create this Facebook page, this branding called Strong Black Leads. Go over to Netflix, and every movie that has a black character, whether they are a lead or not, create a movie poster, create the algorithm so that when black people, if and first of all, wait, too many of them canceling their subscriptions. Go get a deal where everybody's gonna get Netflix damn near free, right? They made it free with your phone service, right? Let me see here. Title will be a video streaming service next. It is because there was some event that happened just recently that you could watch. Oh, was it the Nipsey Hussle? The Nipsey Hussle Memorial. They were promoting that you could watch that on Title. Okay? Yeah. She won't need exactly. That's what I'm saying. And that's what I'm saying. This stuff is already in the works. And let me tell you, let me give them some advice, okay? It's hard trying to do an independent streaming service. I tried to do one. I tried to do a Netflix 15 years ago, maybe 10 years ago, and coming to the table with black filmmakers, and like they need more than distribution. Their concern was they need the money to do the projects, and unless Title is going to match what these people are getting at Netflix, because Netflix is doing the deal early enough where they have money to go and make the project. That's something that's coming out of this, because used to be, because it was, you had to go and develop the whole entire project, then go to them just for the distribution. You'd be surprised at some of the places that were funding projects. Hell, Starbucks used to fund projects, right? And I mean, like, they would, because there was a distribution. Starbucks, when they opened, was a distribution stop. If you had music, you could get some good money, grant money, whatever their funding sources were, money for them to go do your project, and they would distribute it in their stores, because they at the time was opening all these different stores, and they were promoting them as distribution. We're gonna put your CD right there on the counter, right? You could barely get your cup of coffee for all the shit that Starbucks was selling. Okay? So, and I'm sorry for the language, not safe at work. All right, put your earphones on. Right? So, all of this stuff has to be thought about in your declaration. So you better know that she pulled out her journal to a blank page, and she says, "Okay, I'm going to do Coachella. I'm going to incubate these babies. I'm going to get this man in order so we can start back doing some good music instead of all this you cheated again music. You really don't love your family music. I got to go out here and compete with these side chicks to get your love music. I got to get all on the limousine floor to get you to see me. Even though the entire world sees me as their most sacred, I need you to come on with the sacredness too." So we're going to incubate these babies. We're going to have this wedding. We're going to document all of this. So hopefully when we go back out on tour, we have something better to sing about. I'm going to try to do something different, right? I'm going to go get this. I'm going to license this work, all the works from Dr. Maya Angelou, help out her, not that she need it, right? We're going to go ahead and get, now that Monique done blasted Netflix, let's go ahead and negotiate with Netflix, because they don't like what Monique is saying. They sure as hell ain't going to like what Beyonce will have to say if you try and give her a bad deal, right? So she got her deal. And plus, she wants to break the internet because, y'all done went out there and helped, oh God, blindfolded Sandra Bullock. Yeah, we done broke the internet for Sandra Bullock. And let me just say, there's not as much conversation about Beyonce stuff as there was. It's in that HBCU realm. It's on that level, and we need to see it. It needs to cross over. I think, no, I don't think. From a marketing perspective, I know that what she wants to happen with this is the same thing we saw with the television series A Different World, The Cosby Show. This is supposed to propel everybody, like, wait a minute, because the PWIs are winning. Let me tell you, honey, the predominantly white institutions are winning because of cost. Ain't nobody got no $60,000, $70,000 to go to the HBCUs. So hopefully they're about to make some money and get some what's it called? Wait a minute. Endowments. Okay, hopefully the endowments are flowing in, sparking all of that so that the cost can be reduced on the HB. See, the other thing of making declarations is you got to want some outcomes, and a lot of the problem, a lot of times we don't even have an outcome. We don't even want anything. That's the worst part of life. Running into a person want something, y'all. I'm gonna write that down. Want something, okay? That's what I'm talking about. Beyonce didn't just do this. Think about it. She made a declaration. She had 2 years to work on this thing. She didn't drop it overnight. She had 2 years. She had more than 2 years. Because remember, the invite came in a year prior. So she had maybe 3 years to do this, right? And she realized, well, hell, that HBO, the thing we did with Lemonade and Formation, that worked excellent, right? So let's do that again. You duplicate what works. You duplicate what works, y'all. So the outcome that she wants. And the sad part about it is everybody's talking about it and not talking about, well, what's supposed to come of this. I want us to get to a point, because when you get to a point where you asking that question, well, what's supposed to come of this? That's when you no longer have a problem of getting out of bed, right? That's when you no longer have a problem of getting out of bed. When you got when you got something to look forward to for 2 whole years, you don't have a problem getting out of bed. She walked into rehearsal, what she said, 218 pounds at the delivery of her babies, and like, oh man, I gotta get back moving around. Now all that stuff she went without, I'm like, oh Lord, okay, that's the reason why all of us don't look like Beyonce. All right, that's the reason because all of us ain't working out like that, right? You want me to work out and not eat? Where they do that? You finna go into all these rehearsals without carbs? Where they do that? Right? Okay, just to get back to the thigh gap. Damn a thigh gap. I'm like, damn. And I still think that thigh gap is a little bit aided in the costume. But anyway, I just love her. I just love the work ethic. I love the foresight. Foresight. Let me write that down, because you can't make a declaration without some foresight. I know everybody out there playing. What's that other thing? Fortnite. But we talking about some foresight right here. Gotta want something. You gotta have some foresight, right? So while we are just now watching the documentary and realizing, oh damn! I want y'all to look at the camera when you watch the documentary and compare it to Coachella. Whereas when it aired on Coachella, she didn't necessarily control the narrative of what of the performance was to be shown. So the camera might have been on the wrong thing during the actual performance. But if you look at how she had her crew frame the performance, I love the fact that I saw the big girl. Okay, big girl was over there throwing down, right? I love the way she framed the performance. It wasn't all on her. It was on all these different elements, because she knew she wanted to derive. She declared that I want this outcome to come from people seeing this person, people hearing this sound, right? So it doesn't even sound like, if you do it side by side, and I guarantee you somebody's going to do a side by side of the way she frames her Coachella performance and the way Coachella framed her performance, same way she framed her Super Bowl appearance, not in this one, but in the way NFL framed her Super Bowl appearance. See, that's why I say you have to control your story. But in order to control your story, you got to know how you want it to end. It might end entirely different, but how do you want this to end? End. Let me write ending. Right? Remember, because we always talk about an exit strategy. How do you want this to end? Oh, you didn't think there would be an ending? There's an ending to everything. All right? There's an ending to it all. So in this lesson, this Beyonce, obviously, let me write Beyonce. Let me put Beyonce on here so I know when I come back that I got that homecoming from her homecoming. Because like I said, I'm not a great note taker, but I need a couple of keywords, right? But think about that. So she has in her mind an outcome. And don't think Don't think that that they didn't create endowments at those HBCUs for which she borrowed the bands, the band members, the dancers, the singers, those that she sat down and wrote with. Don't think that they didn't create endowments. Don't think that after this that now those institutions can finally really come out now and talk about her involvement there. The fact that she, not the fact that she rehearsed there or she did a casting and this and that. Oh, wait till the names start going up on the buildings. Wait till the names start going up on the music departments and they start naming. They find out because when you go to these HBCUs and you go to the endowment page in their booklets and in their fundraising, and when you see that at the top of those lists are majority non-black people and that they live off of money, though they continue and thrive from money that don't come out of black communities, right? Not even in the tuitions, right? That money comes from all these different sources. The United Negro College Fund, which supports HBCU education, right? Go try going to some of those events. I just had to stop going because I'm a live blogger. I can't even be live blogging this because it's kind of despicable what's going on up in here on how hard it is to get some money out of us to get us to be truly philanthropic. I got tired of seeing the same people write the same checks. I'm like, because we don't seem to understand that in just giving a little bit of smaller money that we can give, that putting our money together, that's some black people ain't gonna ever get that. So just stop with it. I'm exhausted with it. I don't even try it anymore. Black people ain't gonna ever get together and put their money together. Can we just stop that right now? I'm gonna declare that a waste of time. I have already declared it a waste of time. It's just not gonna happen until you find your tribe. Now, notice I said that until you find your tribe. The problem is black people keep thinking it's all black people and it ain't all black people because if it was all black people, we wouldn't be here in America, okay? So find your tribe, all right? And y'all get philanthropic and y'all go and make your team. Remember we talking your I team. Find your tribe. Find your tribe. Stop trying to do it with all black people because what they say, all skin folk ain't kin folk. Because if they were, when we would not be in America, there would not be a need for a diaspora. We understand the value of Africa. Okay. All right. Ooh, that rhyme. Put that down. Somebody can have that. Put that in your bars. Okay. I'm just saying. But I love the fact that no. This is the part I want to know is I want to hear people ask her about what are the outcome? What was she trying to achieve? What is she looking to see happen 5 years from now? Because you don't document this kind of story. And you notice the way she told the story? She told the story as if she was talking into a damn iconic cassette tape. Now we know the evolution of sound at this point. And I'm like, damn, did she record this on a damn cassette player? Because that's what it sounds like. But what most she recorded it. She recorded it. It sounds like the audio analog. It sounded like we're in a digital realm, right? She sounds like she made the interview sound like old analog, old scratchy analog. And I was like, first I was like getting mad. I'm like, damn, why couldn't they just come on, talk to us? But then again, I had to go into my inner, I'm saying, like, wait a minute, okay, she doing something here with this. She done made this thing sound like old analog. Um, um, oh my God, y'all, I'm trying to, what is it? The number, like the albums, and all that kind of stuff. She made it sound iconic, even if it isn't, even if it doesn't become, right? Because that's the outcome. That's the ending that she wants. She had a declaration in the beginning to achieve the ending in the end. And part of that declaration, part of the outcome is having people think that she just dropped this overnight. Because if you my D&D on, let me see, hold on, things are ringing in my ear. Hold on. There we go. Okay. All right. Part of the thing that her thinking that she dropped this overnight tells you that the veil that she has on her projects is still there. The NDAs worked because everybody's like, whoa, Beyonce's dropping this Netflix. Beyonce's dropping this Netflix, right? Honey, I'm telling you, make sure you look at what she's declaring. that goes back to the value thing. If I turn back one more page, let's apply yesterday to today. Storyteller, vocalize, vocalize your needs, value, shame, right? And yeah, we have shame in there because you can't talk about value without talking about shame, because there's so much shame that's going on right now in society that is decreasing the value. So she knew what the value was. She knew what she needed to declare. She knew what the ending was. She knows that this thing being out there, that HBCUs can take this, and it what's that word, exemplifies the excellence in HBCUs. Now I'm gonna tell you, band camp is coming up. All my band parents out there, all my HBCUs, you better know, come football season, the PWIs are going to be on point. Now, they done already been the coach of vultures and appropriation and all of that. Some of the best band videos circulated in 2000. I don't know when y'all going to hear this, but in 2018, some of the best band videos had us doing a double take like, wait, who is... When did they get drum majors? So you better know, everybody coming to band camp is going to have some Beyonce HBCU moves. As I take a sip of my lemonade, you better know, everybody, band competition is going to be stiff. Battle of the bands, all the high school bands at the end is that at the end of the year, the beginning of the year? Everything's about to be up level. Some people are watching this for entertainment purposes. Some people are watching this for all other kind of purposes. And let me tell you, but if you are watching this thing and you are not thinking futurism, oh, write that down, futurism. I was listening to an interview the other day, and they always try to talk about futurism. There's a lot of conversation that go on in this world that just don't even take into consideration the thoughts of African Americans without thinking of ripping those thoughts off. And they always want to think, well, where are black people in futurism? Let me tell you, honey, black people been living in futurism since day one, because we live for the day. We live for the day of freedom. We live for the day of true freedom. That's futurism, if anything. The fact that I'm going to go ahead and wither these storms of today just so that I can see tomorrow, that is futurism. I'm going to go ahead and survive today so I can make it to tomorrow, so I can get another day. Faith is waiting one more day. That's futurism every day. Faith is waiting one more day means no matter what happens to me today, no matter how bad I feel, I'm going to keep letting the breaths come in and exhaling. I'm going to keep believing, and I'm going to keep trying, because I know tomorrow you're going to give me a better day. Right? And then before I even think that all this stuff that's on me today, I'm gonna see where in it is my fault. What have I done? What did I not believe in? Where did I lose? Did I lose my faith? Faith is waiting one more day. That's futurism. So when you look at this thing that's going on with Beyonce and the HBCUs, and the fact that you think or feel like it happened overnight, and you think that you can't get nothing done because you got to get it done overnight. There is nothing that happens overnight except for a good night of sleep. Or a bad night of sleep, for that matter. There is nothing that happens overnight except for a good night of sleep. Write that down so that you can know that. Let me declare that there is nothing that happens overnight except for a good night of sleep, unless you work at night like I do, and then you have a good day of sleep, a good morning of sleep. I'm just saying. So, you'll know that you still have a chance if you just get out of bed today. No matter what you're going to get out of bed and step in, no matter what you're going to get out of bed and have to deal with, go ahead and deal with it. Because as soon as you know, and as soon as you deal with it, you're done. You can check it out. Okay, I'm aware that that's a flaw. I'm aware that that's a problem. Here's what I can do. Because if you can't do nothing about it, then you can't do nothing about it. But if you're sitting over there procrastinating and not wanting to do nothing about it, you don't want to exhaust. Let me tell you, honey, take my all. If this is what it takes to get that done, take it all. I don't mind starting over. Because I'm going to tell you, there's something in the release, y'all. There is something in the release that will propel you forward. Dropping dead weight propels you forward. Dropping pain propels you forward. Dropping ideas that don't work propels you forward. Letting go of people holding you back is going to propel you forward. Giving up the idea that you can't do it alone will propel you forward. Giving up the idea that you shouldn't trust anybody is going to propel you forward. Trust somebody. Trust a process. Find you a person of trust, a process. Start with the person in the mirror first, right? Because when you trust yourself, then everybody else like, that's a trustworthy person. Because when you take the risk yourself, then others will see it. They can't do nothing but respect it, whether they are afraid to come along with you or not. All you know is it's easier to move forward. It will propel you forward. Declare it today that you want something. First and foremost, declare that you want to go forward. Say it if you haven't said it out loud. Say it to yourself so you know what that voice sounds like. Because there's a whole lot of voices in our heads telling us that we can't do stuff, that we ought not to do stuff, that we ought to be afraid of this, that, and the other because this happened to that person. And this happened. Listen, declare it. I want to go forward. I want to go forward. Know what your voice sounds like. Declare that you want to go forward. Okay, well, it's a whole bunch of hindsight out there that you could then make your foresight. But you got to know what the destination looks like. What is the ending? So that you can know along the way what the accomplishments look like. Waking up this morning, whether I have thrown these covers off me or not, I am live. I am talking this thing out. I am walking this thing through. Know what the destination look like. Know what the ending looks like so that you can check it out. Beyonce was able to check it out. Okay, I done incubated. The date to do Coachella is set. Get me a camera crew. Get me a choreographer. Get me a nutritionist. Okay, get this husband of mine back to the altar and let's get some more vows because the first vows obviously ain't mean a thing. Okay, let me incubate these babies. Okay, come on, let's get these babies up out of here. Let's get this journey started. The next phase of this journey started. Okay, let me see how I look in this costume. Let me take all this stuff out my diet. Right? I'm like, come on, y'all. Don't even think to this thing that something the only thing happens overnight should be a good night's sleep so that we can wake to whatever we consider morning, whatever time zone you're in, so that we can get out of bed. And if you didn't get that good night's sleep, go back and figure out why. What's keeping you from getting a good night's sleep? Because you might think, don't nobody know, but everybody knows. Everybody knows. Okay. Now, and then think about that. Wait, everybody knows and nobody reaching in to help. Somebody's reaching in. Somebody done said it 1,000,000 times. Let me help you. How can I help you? How can we support you? What you got going on? What's going on with you? You're different. You're changing. You didn't come to this. You didn't come to that. Why you stopped doing this? You hearing them questions all the time. But you just don't know what the answer because you hadn't declared, okay, well, I'm not going to do that no more. I'm not going to do that no more. Hey, listen, this is me. This is what I got going on. And if somebody can't look at it, can't be around it, hey, that's fine. That ain't going to do nothing but propel you forward. Because you're going to stop trying to be with the pack. And where's the pack? In the back. Let me tell y'all, there is no density out front. There's no density among leaders. It's no density, honey. It's plenty of room. There's plenty of room. Futurism. As I hit this stop button and tell you to get out of bed, what does your future look like? What is futurism for you? Is it the next few minutes? Is it the next few hours? Is it the next few days? Is it the next few weeks? Is it the next few years? I just want you to have some semblance of futurism. I want us to get out of bed. That's the first step to the future, is getting out of bed. If you already got out of bed and you still don't know how, you still don't know why, you want to go back, all you can think about, I can't wait to get back home and get back in my bed. That's not where it's happening. I know I'm doing an amazing podcast from my bed, but I got to get up. I had to get up and go get these devices. I had to get up and go find my headset, get something to drink, go to the bathroom, as Jennifer says. Thank God we got to go pee. Okay? I'm just saying. But what does the future is? What are the outcomes? Don't think that Beyonce don't have some amazing outcomes on this, her next deal. All right? maybe she got some more Netflix coming. Notice that she moved from platform to platform, and Carolyn was mentioning that title. That maybe they're testing this out. They guess what she just did. She just got all, well, not all of, I don't know how, we don't know what the numbers are looking like because I'm not seeing enough conversation on my timeline about it. But she just acquainted the Netflix audience with the fact that they could have all this access to Beyonce. So you think that the next one, if the next one ain't with Netflix, wherever the next one is, you don't think people, if they enjoyed it, I fast forwarded through it myself because I was like, I don't too much want to hear these songs. And I hate that she has to go back, and that's just me. I hate that she now has to go perform these songs because they're quote unquote popular. Because we know now it represented some real and bad times in her life, in her marriage, in her family, right? And the fact that she was competing with trying to outdo the side chicks. I hate to see people trying to outdo the side chicks, right? That kind of thing. I hate that they have to be known for the Becky thing with the good hair, and all that kind of stuff. I hate that she had to stop her pure genius. Uh-oh. Oh, no, that's that device. I thought I cut off. I was monitoring another device. I hate that she had to stop her pure genius and even do some of those things. But she done declared that she's back. She done declared that she wants us to watch this thing and she wants our buy-in better than wanting. Foresight. Having the foresight to plan all of this and not the hindsight. She didn't say, oh, Coachella was a good performance. Let's go find some footage. Hear what I'm saying on this one, y'all. She didn't say, oh, Coachella worked out. It just worked out. So now let's go back. Go see if we can buy some footage from Coachella. She was like, I would do Coachella, but I want my own camera crew. I need this, I need that, and the other. And she got all that. Hopefully she got everything she asked for. We don't know that, right? So she had the foresight to document the entire process of getting ready or preparing herself for the show. Now all she has to do, well, in that foresight, she knew what she wanted the hindsight to be, the ending. Okay, what awareness she wanted to bring, right? So take and borrow from that. Man, this is a talk if ever there was one. Y'all might see me doing this talk on stage somewhere because I done jotted these notes down. And futurism. There's so much futurism in this thing because it's going to develop the mindset of those that will watch this in the future. Because if we don't continue to be our storytellers, if we don't continue to control these narratives, and they're already changing up the history books, okay? All right, on that note, y'all, let's get back to some more futurism. Let's go work these futures. Go work your futures. Let's do what we do best. And that is get out of bed. Oh, before I go, thanks again to Real Life opening 24 hours after this broadcast, a little bit more than 24 hours after this broadcast. Atlanta gets a hip opera on stage in Atlanta and Marietta at Marietta's New Theater in the Square. You see it in this broadcast. Also, if you want to enjoy the replay, I will post this on all podcast platforms. More and more approvals are coming in where our podcast can land. So I'm going to launch it. I'm going to go over to Anchor and launch this as an audio podcast. It's going to be, if you follow, we got a podcast out there called Buzz It or Bash It. It's where you're going to get how to get out of bed, the Becoming Michelle Obama podcast, as well as Buzz It or Bash It podcast, where we come on, we talk about, well, dang, Buzz that or Bash It, what was that, right? And I'm not even about, look, don't get that beehive on me. The beehive ain't coming over here. I ain't asking you to buzz or bash Beyonce at all. I think we just need to learn from the amazingness of how she and her team, and all of those. Congratulations to everybody that got a chance to work with her on this project. Oh my God, amazing. I know there are some proud parents out there. See, think about all those different layers. You done sent your kids to these schools and getting this art. You like, they want to do this music stuff. You wonder, like, man, now we owe all this money. Where is this music stuff going to take them? Let me tell you. Thank you for pouring into your young people. And I know that there are some parents out there that are just ecstatic. I know their households having viewing parties, looking for a glimpse of this one and a glimpse of that one. I know that feeling when you have children that are ambitious like that. and then their ambitions come true because you declared that you were going to pour into them. So, and shout out to everybody that's just doing the doggone thing, doing your thing, you're doing your thing. I appreciate people who are doing their thing. All right, and let's see any others. Again, we are multi-streaming. Shout out to the mobile option that's now available on Restream.io that allows us to use one device multi-stream on multi-platforms. I'm so excited about that because that means as I head out into the city today and this weekend, I will be able to launch content all over the place. If you want to learn how I did this, I'm pretty sure there's some how-tos out there. I may do a how-to. I'm not the how-to person. Deely Inspires comes in and as I'm saying goodbye. Girl, please don't invite nobody. Well, you can invite. There she goes. That's what she does. She comes in and the first thing she does is invite followers. But I'm going to let them enjoy the replay because I need to go get with Deely in a sidebar because I need to declare some things with D. Lee because I want something. She's got the foresight to help me get to the destination. All about the futurism. She can rock it just like Beyonce if you are an author. So go and definitely get with D. Lee. I'm going to go get with D. Lee because this book, How to Get Out of Bed, is about to become this book. For all of you that are coming in under D. Lee's invite, please enjoy the replay. For those of you on YouTube, Periscope, and the Facebook pages, thank you all so much. I got to come back on Periscope and do a pink scope just to let everybody know that we are coming in now under the new branding so that they will be able to find the podcast. Because I know people are checking my timeline like, where's the pink scope? Where's the pink scope? So I got to let them know. I got to introduce the branding. Again, thanks so much to the support of the podcast from Marietta's New Theater in the Square. Hey guys, let's practice some futurism and let's get out of bed.